Welcome to another edition of Old News, the show that takes you back in time to meet famous personalities from the ancient past.
Each week, our reporters research an important ancient event and then ride the line back in time to speak directly with some of the greatest people in history.
On today's show, we will visit a scene of mass destruction in the Italian city of Pompeii. Our first reporter on Old News today is Zelton. Zelton, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, Zelton, who are we going to learn about today?
We're going to learn about the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Cleopatra.
Wow, sounds interesting.
Cleopatra was born in 69 BC in the Egyptian city of Alexandria. She was the second daughter of Ptolemy the 12th and powerful king. She was half Macedonian and half Egyptian. Cleopatra was a queen of ancient Egypt. She was famous for her beauty, intelligence, and ambition. She was also known for the part she played in the lives of three great Roman rulers, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, and Augustus Caesar. In 59 BC, a Roman army led by Julius Caesar arrived in Egypt. Caesar was pursuing his rival Pompey. Cleopatra arranged to have a huge carpet delivered to Caesar. When he unrolled it, he found a 22-year-old pharaoh wrapped inside. Caesar and Cleopatra became lovers, and Cleopatra got what she wanted from him, a baby. Caesar was murdered in 44 BC. Cleopatra then returned to Egypt, where she met and fell in love with the Roman general Mark Antony. Antony and Cleopatra fled to Alexandria, Egypt. 10 months later, Octavian defeated Mark Antony at the Battle of Actium. Antony committed suicide. Octavian headed to Alexandria to capture Cleopatra.
So, Cleopatra, how are things going with you lately?
Well, not too well. My husband, Mark Antony, just committed suicide and Octavian's after me. My country's in panic.
Why did he commit suicide?
He thought I was dead.
Have you ever been in a war?
Well, actually no, but I watched my husband in the Battle of Actium.
What are you doing right now?
Well, I'm waiting for a basket with the poisonous snake inside.
Why do you want a basket with the snake inside?
So I could commit suicide. I'd rather die than be captured by Octavian.
Wow, things really aren't going well for you. Have a great time in the afterlife. Back to the studio.
Wow, she had a lot of men in her life. Octavian, Julius Caesar.
What a coincidence. That's who we're learning about next.
Wow, I'm curious. Who's this Caesar guy?
Let's go to Valerie for our History Minute.
Julius Caesar was born into a Roman patrician family in 100 BC. He was educated in Greece and was a military and political leader. In 85 BC, his father died. At age 18, he married Cornelia. In 75 BC, while sailing to Greece to study, he was captured by pirates. The pirates demanded a huge ransom. Once the pirates got the money, they let him go. Later, Caesar went back and crucified the pirates and took back the money. In 72 BC, he was elected military tribune. From 58 to 41 BC, he led his army in conquering all of Gaul, which now we call France. In 48 BC, Cleopatra, queen of Egypt, and Julius Caesar fell in love. They had a baby named Caesarion. In 49 BC, Caesar and Cleopatra returned to Italy. He became consul and then dictator of Rome, but when he demanded to become dictator for life, the Roman senators feared that they now had a king.
Wow, that was interesting.
It seems we have Julius Caesar and Valley live.
Good luck, Val.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Julius Caesar. Hi, Julius Caesar. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions before you enter the Senate?
No problem, just fast, okay?
How does it feel being dictator for life?
It feels like an honor, and I love the attention.
How did it feel when you conquered all of Gaul?
I felt like I had so much power, and I knew my army wouldn't let me down.
What do you think of the Pharaoh Cleopatra?
She's very attractive, and she was very supportive of me.
Today's the Ides of March. What do you think is going to happen in the Senate?
The Senate loves me. We were going to pass new laws today. Well, gotta go. Wish me luck.
Okay, good luck and goodbye. Now back to you guys.
Wow, poor Caesar. He's about to get chopped to bits.
I guess that's why they call it a Caesar salad.
Anyway, up next we have our ace reporter Eric waiting.
Who are we going to see, Eric?
King Leonidas was born in 540 BC. He was a strong man who ruled Sparta. When Leonidas was 7 years old, he went to train to become a Spartan soldier. When Xerxes attacked Greece, Leonidas took 300 Spartan soldiers to try to stop the Persian army from conquering Greece. He faced an army 10 times bigger than his at the Battle of Thermopylae. He held up Xerxes for 3 days. He was betrayed and became surrounded by thousands of Persian soldiers.
So, did you hear the one about Leonidas and...
Save it for later, Jimmy. We have our ace reporter Eric waiting with Leonidas.
Thanks, Matt. Now I'm here with the great Leonidas. Tell me, when did you leave to become a Spartan soldier?
I left at the age of 7.
Wow, that's horrible.
Everyone left at that age.
Really? Can you train me? So, what was Sparta like?
Sparta was the home of the strongest soldiers in all the world.
Cool, I should go there. Do you have any children?
Yes, one son.
Wow, was he accepted as a Spartan?
Yes, of course.
Wow. What was his name?
Blisticus.
Wow, and my son's name is Bob. Well, thanks, Leo. Okay, sorry, Leonidas. Well, that's all for now. Thanks. Back to you, Matt.
So, did you think of any good jokes for Leonidas?
Well, actually, I was thinking about this one, and I think you might want to hear it.
Nah, I'd rather be covered in molten lava and ash.
Well, I guess if that's how you feel about it, this brings us to our next story, the city of Pompeii.
Pompeii was a village in the Campania region of southern Italy in the shadows of a great volcanic mountain named Vesuvius. The mountain erupted on August 24, AD 79, just after midday. Pieces of ash, volcanic glass, and rock began pouring down on Pompeii. Many people tried to escape by boat. Poison gases killed hundreds as they ran through the streets. Some people hid in their houses, but were killed when their roofs collapsed on them. The town began to fill up with rocks and ash.
All right, I changed my mind. I want to hear it.
Okay, so Leonidas, he's walking.
Okay, changed my mind again. Let's go to Stephanie.
We are here live in the city of Pompeii as a natural disaster is happening right now at midday, August 24, 79 AD. Here's a lady of Pompeii running with her baby in her hands. Let's go ask her a couple of questions. Hello there.
Hello.
So you were one of the eyewitnesses to the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, right?
Yes. Well, we were in our houses when we heard a terrible sound. We thought it was an earthquake, but really it was Mount Vesuvius erupting.
Can you describe the eruption?
It was frightening. Many people tried to escape from the huge black cloud, but they got killed from the poisonous gases of the volcano. And then many people went in their houses, but their roofs collapsed on them.
How do you feel right now?
I feel frightened and confused. I lost my husband and 2 children.
Where are you heading to now?
Across the sea for safety.
Okay, thank you. Back to the studio.
So now, let's go learn about the place where many women spent their time, the Colosseum.
Romans were very good engineers. One of their great building structures was the Colosseum, which still stands in Rome today. The Colosseum was a large amphitheater where gladiators fought each other to the death. The Colosseum was built during the reign of Emperor Vespasian in 72 AD and dedicated in 80 AD by his son Emperor Titus. The original name of this ancient Roman sports arena, the largest arena of its kind, was the Amphitheatrum Flavium. The Colosseum was over 189 feet high with 80 entrances. It could hold upwards of 50,000 spectators. That's the amount of people that live in White Plains. Public events such as gladiator fights, ship battles, and wild animal hunts were held at the Colosseum. During the opening ceremonies, as many as 10,000 people and 5,000 animals were killed. Fighters were slaves, prisoners, or volunteers. Spectators also saw persecuted Christians killed by lions. Now let's go back to ancient Rome and visit the grand opening of the Colosseum and interview Emperor Titus.
Strange. They didn't mention many women.
Well, let's go to Danica live to see what she has to say.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the grand opening of the Colosseum interviewing Emperor Titus. So, Emperor Titus, what gave you the thought of building the Colosseum?
My father built it, but I continued it.
Did the Colosseum turn out the way you imagined it to be?
Well, not exactly, but the people love it, and I'm sure that my father would like it too.
When you thought to build the Colosseum, how many spectators did you expect it to hold? Your whole empire?
We wanted it to be the largest stadium in the whole world, and it holds up to 50,000.
Emperor Titus, I have just one more question for you. Why did you choose to have animal fights? Don't you think it's completely cruel to have 5,000 animals being mistreated that way?
When I was conquering Africa, there was animals everywhere, and they were very cheap. So I said, what the heck, and use them for fights and executions.
Thanks for your time, Emperor Titus. Now back to you.
All right, thanks, Danica. Our next story is on Alexander the Great.
What's so great about him? All he did was win a couple battles.
He won 50 battles and never lost.
Yeah, and I'm the king of Cuba.
Want to bet?
$5.
Deal.
Alexander the Great was a Macedonian prince. He was born in 556 BC. His father was King Philip II. His mother was Olympias. Alexander became a student of Aristotle, the great philosopher, at the age of 13. When he was a child, he got a horse that people said that no one could ride, even the best horseman couldn't ride or train it. His father said that if he could ride the horse, he could keep it. Alexander kept his horse and named it Bucephalus. Alexander became a military genius at the age of 18. Alexander conquered all of Persia. He won 50 battles and lost none of the battles. Alexander started 10 new cities, and most of them were named after him. One was named after his horse and one named after his mother. The capital of his empire was Babylon.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, want to bet on anything else about this guy?
Christopher.
Thank you, guys. Now I'm here in Macedonia with Alexander the Great. Alexander, I'm a huge fan. Can I ask you a few questions?
Fine, but make it quick. I'm about to take over another country.
How long did it take you to build your empire?
Only a little while, about 13 years.
Why do they call you Alexander the Great?
Why? Because I am Alexander, king of Macedonia. I am ruler of all of Greece. I have fought in more than 50 battles and I have lost none. And I have conquered most of the known world.
Is that all? Wait, one more question. Why do you act so arrogant sometimes?
What? That's it. I will not stand here and be insulted by a worthless pest.
Wait, what are you doing? Why are you taking your sword out? Back to the sword.
Thanks, Christopher. Now, as long as I'm $5 richer, let's go see how people are doing in Athens.
Why not? Let's go learn about the golden age of Athens.
Pericles was born in Athens. He was a member of a hierarchical noble family, and he was educated by the greatest philosophers of his day. He was elected as the Athenian leader during the Golden Age, which lasted for 40 years. Athens had democracy during the Golden Age. For 30 years, he was the most powerful man in Athenian politics. He decided to rebuild the Acropolis, and to make it a perfect city, he hired the best designers and architects. His finest work was the Parthenon, which was a temple for the goddess Athena. The Parthenon was built out of fine marble, ivory, and gold. During the war between Athens and Spartans, Pericles asked all Athenians to move into the city of Acropolis. Their food supply had rats in it, which were infected by a deadly plague. The rats were bitten by fleas, and the fleas carried the plague. The fleas bit the people, and everyone in the city was affected with the plague. 1/3 of the people in Athens died, including Pericles. Athens was finally conquered by the Spartans.
Well, I'm happier because, well, I found out that my paycheck comes after this show. So, let's go learn about Pericles.
You mean Pericles' wife?
Yeah, okay.
All right, Dominique, are you there?
Thank you, guys. So, when your husband Pericles wanted to build the Parthenon and everyone agreed with him?
Yes, after the Persians burnt down the Parthenon.
What other things did your husband do for Athens during the Golden Age?
Our city was powerful and wealthy.
How did you feel when your husband became leader of Athens?
I felt like I was the queen of the world.
How did you feel when your husband went to fight in wars?
I felt very sad. Every day I waited for him to come home.
Did you ever think that your husband would become leader of Athens for 30 years and be so powerful?
No, but he sure did well for himself.
Back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Dominique.
But unfortunately, all good shows must come to an end.
And this show ends now.
I'm Allison.
And I'm Nat.
And this is the end of Old News. Good night, everybody.